My name is Aniko Molnar, and I'm a freelance journalist now. And I was working for 20 years as a journalist. And I went to Africa once to Kilimanjaro, to climb to the Kilimanjaro. And then in a few years I decided to quit my job. So now I just have my car, my tent, my sleeping bag, and I started to traveling. When I was working as a journalist, I realized there is too much control in my job. And in the mountain there is freedom, but you have to respect the nature. In the mountains you still can be free.
Il campo base HiLab si trova al rifugio Quintino Sella al Feli.
The HiLab base camp is located at the Quintino Sella El Feli refuge, which lies on the top of the valleys of Gressone and Eas at an altitude of 3,585 meters.
Il campo HiLab lo si raggiunge lasciando.
The HiLab base camp can be reached by leaving the chairlift at Colla della Bettaforca. From there, it's about a 3-hour walk to Quintino Sella.
Il campo base HiLab esiste da 20 anni.
The HiLab base camp has been around for 20 years. In 1994, we installed the tents and materials to be tested. Quintino Sella was chosen as a testing base, firstly for affectionate reasons, because Ferrino has always been closely tied to Monte Rosa and the Eas Valley.
In secondo luogo, e credo la cosa più importante sia.
Secondly, and I believe it's the most important reason, is because it represents an ideal high-altitude situation, offering perfect conditions for high-stress comparative tests for the various materials.
So I came to Quintino Sella now because I wanted to test the tents here, and I'm curious to try this tent in the Ferrino High Camp.
Gestire un campo base
Managing the base camp in a location with significant climatic conditions is very important in order to test the materials produced directly in the field.
Il campo è installato.
The camp is set up in a fixed controlled site for about 40 days every summer. It's a fairly significant period because it also reproduces base camp conditions similar to those in the Himalayas or Patagonia. And here, more or less, all high-altitude situations are represented, such as strong solar radiation or winds.
Che si possono trovare in alta montagna. Leggi un forte irraggiamento solare piuttosto che i venti.
Abbiamo scelto questo luogo perché è un punto.
We chose this point because there's a large coming and going of people. In the validation phase, we also need comments from users who are not technically professional. Professional feedback is obviously essential for us, as well as that of a wide general public.
Gli utenti del campo che utilizzano le
People who utilize the tents can also use the mattresses and sleeping bags provided by us. We ask those who use the sleeping bags here at the camp to give us a series of information regarding their physical conditions during the night, their physical activity carried out during the previous day, in order to have a physical evaluation of the user, and what type of ground installation they intend to use during the test.
Qual è la coibentazione dal terreno che utilizza durante il test? Il mattino successivo richiediamo le stesse.
We ask for the same information the following morning in order to elaborate the data at the end of the camp test.
Per tutti coloro che vogliono vivere
Those who want to take part in the HiLab experience at the Quintino Sella base camp simply have to go to the refuge reception and then they can pass the night in the tents, which reproduces the conditions of any camp in any part of the world.
Può essere un campo in qualunque parte del mondo.
I try to pass a lot of time alone in the mountains, in my tent. Sometimes I was just for 1 month in my tent, and I really love to run in the mountains alone. I really don't love the noises of the city because it's disturb me. I really love the noises in the nature, the animals, also the rain, the lightnings. I really prefer to sleep in a tent.